Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. My name is Anne, and along with my good friend Wayne, we run this YouTube channel, and we also run the Sussex Handmade Soap Company, which is a small bath and body business based in East Sussex on the south east coast of England. We are back. It is 2024. Welcome to 2024. It's May, so it's been 2024 for a while now, but this is our first video of 2024. We have been away for a long while. I have still been reading all of the comments that you guys leave. I haven't had a chance to really reply to any, but I read them and I see people saying, where have you been? Why have you stopped the videos? Are you coming back? Etc, etc. And to briefly answer that, we have stopped the videos, or we haven't done them purely because we are just running out of time. Everything has got very busy here. We have done some bigger markets and events, and basically all of our time is currently being taken up with just preparing for things. You can see behind me a load of extrusions that we are currently working on. These are for Christmas soaps, and we started making them in January, and it has been non-stop. But it is purely a case of if we don't get the work done now, we are not going to be ready for Christmas, which sounds ridiculous given that it's May, but we have got some very big Christmas markets this year. We did have last year, we're doing the same plus more this year, so all of our time really is being taken up with work. And although I love doing the videos, we as a business kind of have to focus on the stuff that's actually earning us the money, because although we're monetized on YouTube, we're getting sort of £100 a month from YouTube if we're lucky, and that's not enough to sustain us and to actually allow us the time to concentrate more on the videos. So that is why we haven't done so many videos. I'll be coming back. Well, I'm here, so I guess that's answered that question. Are we going to be coming back regularly and permanently? Honestly, probably not. There will be videos here and there, but they're probably going to be quite sporadic. They're not going to be weekly or monthly. They're literally just going to be when I've had a bit of time to get a video up. I've actually got 4 videos on my computer that are kind of all half done, and I just need to find the time to film last little bits, edit it and get them up and online, but that could take me months. It literally depends on when I get the time. So I can't promise there's going to be a regular stream of videos, but hopefully you'll get the odd one like this one popping up here and there. So hit the notification bell, and then when we do chuck one up, you'll be able to see it, or you'll get notified that we are there. But anyway, we are here today, and thank you to everyone who has supported us and everyone who has continued leaving comments while we have been away. It is really nice to read those, and they are kind of what inspire me to actually get back and do more videos. Moving on, today we are going to be making a lavender and lemon salt bar. I did have a little bit of a think about this channel, and I would love to bring it back to being a little bit more naturally focused like when we very first started, which means I would like to focus on natural colorants and soap making rather than the other things that we have been doing. Not to say there won't be any other videos at all, because there probably will be, because you know I have a habit of changing my mind, but I want to focus on soap making, and I want to focus on natural colours and things like that. So lavender and lemon salt bars today. I'm going to show you us making them, and then at the end of the video I will actually show you one of the soaps we have made in this video being used. I think during the video I do say that I'll give you an example using a different salt bar. I completely forgot to do that, and actually, to demonstrate how long it takes me to make videos these days, the actual video you're about to watch was probably made about 4 months ago now, and it's just been sitting on my computer. So the salt bars are definitely ready for a test. So I'm going to give one of them a test today, and I'm going to show you at the end of the video how it lathers. So stay about for that, because otherwise you might miss it, because it'll pop up at a random point, because I nearly forgot to include it in the video. So it'll be tagged on at the end. Anyway, I have rambled on for far too long, probably because it is our first video back for a while. But that's all I've got to say. So let's jump in and make some lavender and lemon salt bars today. So as I said in that introduction, today it's going to be lavender and lemon salt bars. I personally really like using salt bars. They give a nice gentle exfoliation, and you get a really kind of rich creamy lather, which I will show you towards the end of the video. And to me it's more of a creamier lather than a bubbly one, but it is really nice and really rich, and I love the way that it feels on my skin. When you are making a salt bar, you do use an awful lot of coconut oil, and people do say, isn't coconut oil really drying to the skin? And yes, it definitely can be. And the way that we combat that is by using a high superfat amount. So that basically means that we are using more oil than our lye can actually saponify. So there will be some leftover unsaponified oils, which then help to leave the skin feeling nice and smooth and loved and not kind of dry or tight. That said, we do know a few people who do prefer our regular soaps, who aren't so keen on the salt bars. It's all just down to personal preference, so have a go, and if you like it, great, and if you don't, then at least you tried. Anyway, let's get on to showing you what the ingredients are today and what you're going to need if you choose to follow this recipe. So another thing I really like about our salt bars is they don't require too many different ingredients. Our regular soaps use 6 different oils and butters, whereas our salt bars only use 2 oils and butters. And the first one of them, which cannot be substituted out, is coconut oil. And the reason we are using coconut oil is because it is the only oil that will still give you a nice, stable, lovely lather in the presence of a high amount of sea salt, which is what we are going to be using today, obviously, because it is a salt bar. So we have got 810 grams of coconut oil. This is refined coconut oil. I would recommend refined coconut oil for soap making. Unrefined is more expensive. And I don't personally think it really offers anything extra to the soap, so absolutely use refined. If you've got unrefined, go for it, but refined is cheaper and will work perfectly well. We have then got 90 grams of argan oil, and I'm using the argan oil. It is 10% of the oil weight, so it's obviously majority coconut oil. 10% of argan oil just to add a little something extra to the soap, and it does add label appeal as well if you are selling, because argan oil is one of those oils that people like. People perceive it as being a really good oil, which it is, so it's nice to have that, and we include that on our labels as well. The other things we have got today, we have got 450 grams of sea salt. This is fine sea salt, and it is sea salt without any added anti-caking ingredients. And you do need to look for sea salt without any added anti-caking ingredients, because you want it to be as pure as possible. Generally, if it hasn't got the anti-caking ingredients, the details from where you are purchasing will state that it hasn't had anything added in, so just look for 100% pure sea salt. We have then got some lye, just a small amount of lye today. 128 grams is what is required for today's recipe. We have got our water, which is 256 grams. Then we have got the essential oils. I have gone for lavender and lemon. This soap loaf I'm making today is going to be for personal use, so I decided to go with a scent that I thought would appeal to me. So I'm going with lavender and lemon, 15 grams of lavender and 15 grams of lemon in there. I have then got our purple Brazilian clay. This was a new batch of purple Brazilian clay that I purchased, and it's actually very much paler than the purple Brazilian clay that I'm used to. My normal purple Brazilian clay is a lot darker. This is really, really pale in comparison, and I was a bit concerned that it kind of wasn't authentic or it wasn't real or something had been added into it, so I did a bit more research, and I did find out that apparently you can get 2 different kinds of purple Brazilian clay. You can get a paler one and you can get a darker one, so we've obviously got a paler one which we're going to work with. But I have already made some soaps with it, and it does give a really nice, very pale purple colour to the soap. Lastly, we have got 2 grams of heather flowers, and we're just going to use these to decorate the top of the soap. If you don't have heather flowers, or you don't like using botanicals on your soap, then you can just simply omit them. Just throw them away, don't use them, they're not essential, they don't make any difference to the soap other than making it look a little bit pretty. And let's be honest, provide a little bit of a pain in the backside when you have to pick out all the flowers from the plug hole. So if botanicals are for you, use them. If they're not, don't bother, it's all good. Right, let's get on and make some soap. And one thing I forgot to say that I'll very quickly run through before we start the soap is our equipment and tools for today. We have got a stick blender, We have got a little teaspoon for texturing the top of our final soap. We have got a stainless steel spoon, which we're going to use for mixing our lye water. We have got a mould. Please don't ask me where this is from because I really cannot remember. I think it was Amazon. Really not sure. It's a 12-inch mould, and that's about as much as I can tell you. I think it's a tall, skinny one as well. We have also got the safety equipment, the goggles and the gloves that I'm going to pop on now. And that is all the equipment we're going to need for today. So, gloves and goggles on, let's get going. So the first thing I'm going to do is melt our coconut oil. I'm going to melt it slowly, and I'm going to do that off camera because my hob is over there and my setup for the camera is here. So that will be done off camera, but I'm just going to allow that to melt. And then when it has melted, we'll just bring it back and we'll show you the next step. The lye I'm going to do at the same time. I'm going to show you me starting the lye off here. You want good ventilation when you are mixing lye, and you always add the lye to the water, not the other way around. I'm going to stir to dissolve, and I'm also going to take this one off camera as soon as I've given it a quick stir, because I'm going to take it over to my kitchen sink. I like to mix my lye in the kitchen sink just in case there's any spillages or anything goes wrong, then it's in the sink and it's all good. And also there is more ventilation over there than there is here. So the lye is in now. I'm just going to stir it until it dissolves and goes clear, and then I'm going to leave it to cool. So our coconut oil has all melted now. So what we're going to do is add in our liquid argan oil. I'm just going to pour it into the coconut oil. And there was a couple of things on the equipment list I did forget to mention, a spatula being one of them, the heat gun, which is down to my right, being the second, and the third thing was obviously scales to weigh out your ingredients. I think that's all the equipment you need. Probably something else I've forgotten, but there we go. Right, so the argan oil is in now, and now what I'm going to do is add in our purple Brazilian clay. And I'm just going to tip that into the oils like so. And then I'm just going to stir it in just to kind of combine it and mix it. So that is pretty well mixed in now. And just to touch on why I'm adding the clay, the main reason for me, I'm going to be honest, is for the colour. I like the pretty colours that you can achieve with clays. It does also give a very mild, very gentle exfoliating effect. And some people do also believe that adding clays can help to anchor the scent of essential oils. But for me personally, that's not why I'm using the clay today. It's because I want the pretty purple colour. But as I said, they will also add an exfoliation element, and again you do get a certain amount of label appeal using clays. They're also very good for use on the skin. I mean, clay masks are all the rage. Everyone loves a clay mask. Well, not everyone, but plenty of people love a clay mask, and they do draw out toxins from the skin. But again, we're making a rinse-off product, so can we say that that's really beneficial in soap? Probably not, because it's rinse-off. So it's for the colour, let's just say that. Right, now I'm going to take the temperature, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be far too hot. We're looking for a temperature of below 90 degrees Fahrenheit. This is 108. I have preempted that, so I have got just a little bowl of cool water, and I'm just going to balance, hopefully, our bowl in here to cool it. I took my eye off the ball when I was melting it. It got a little bit too hot. Never mind, happens to all of us. And the reason we want a nice cool temperature for soaping today is that coconut oil soaps do have a habit of heating up more so than soaps made with other oils. So we're going low today because we don't want it to heat up too much and for it to start volcanoing out of the moulds. I'm one of those people that tends to go a little bit higher perhaps than average when I am soaping with my temperatures, but for coconut oil soaps I keep it low, so I want below 90. It'll come down pretty quickly. See, we're already down to 102, so we should be very nearly there. So while the oil was cooling, I have sorted out our lye water, and this is down to 88.5 degrees, so that's perfect. Our coconut oil is now measuring at 86.9, so that is all good too. Now what I'm going to do is add in our essential oils to our mix. Normally I add essential oils at trace. When I'm making salt bars, I add it before I put the lye in. It just feels a little bit easier because when you're adding salt and it thickens up, I like to know that my essential oils are in there. They are mixed in nicely. After we've added the salt, it does get a little bit thick and it will firm up really quickly too. So I get them in now just so I know they're in there and I'm not going to forget or be rushed later. So now we can add in our lye. So obviously you want to be really careful when adding lye. I pour it down slowly over the spatula. And then I'm going to use our stick blender to bring it to a light trace. And I'm going to use a mixture of stirring like this and pulsing like this to bring it to a trace. It shouldn't take too long. The coconut oil soaps we make do tend to come to a trace fairly quickly. So we're at a nice light to medium sort of trace now, and we're going to add in our sea salt next. So I'm just going to carefully pour the sea salt into the pan, and then I'm going to use the stick blender to mix the sea salt in. And I like to give it a really nice good mix because otherwise you can end up with sort of lumps of sea salt that are clumped together, because we haven't got that anti-caking ingredient, this sea salt can go a little bit lumpy, especially if any moisture at all gets into it. So I like to give it a nice decent stir until I'm sure I can feel no more lumps. And then just for good luck, I like to give it a bit of a pulse as well, just to make sure it is all nicely incorporated and eliminate any worries of lumps at all. Sometimes it doesn't work and I still get lumps of salt, but never mind. So that is feeling pretty good, feeling lump free. So what I'm going to do now is get rid of the stick blender, trying not to make a mess. Put it in there. And then we're going to pull in our mould. And then all I'm going to do is tip the mixture into the mould. And I think I'm going to have some left over as well, because I don't use this mould very often and I couldn't remember the exact volume that it held, so I did a little bit more than I thought I would need, just to be on the safe side. Although actually it is filling up pretty nicely, bowing slightly in the middle, which annoys me, but I could put some books or something one side of it to stop that bowing, but so all I could find was a few cookery books that have been stuck in the back of the room for quite a while. They should do the job. Yeah, it's stopping the bowing to a certain degree. So it's just been a couple of minutes and I think our soap is now just about firm enough for us to be able to texture. I've done a little test. Bizarrely, it seems more liquidy here and more firm here. Don't know why, maybe because that's the end I was sort of playing with most. So I'm going to take the spoon, back of the spoon, and I'm going to go into the soap and I'm just going to push and lift it away. As you can see, it's relatively liquidy down here. I'm just doing it halfway up to the top. Just a very quick and easy technique. Yeah, much firmer at this end. How bizarre. Now I'm going to take my gloves off now. Obviously I wouldn't recommend it, for you guys, health and safety and all that. But I'm going to be adding on our little heather flowers, and I just really cannot do latex gloves and little botanicals. It just makes a mess and they don't go where I want them to, and it just ends up looking silly. So the soap's all in there. I'm not going to be touching the soap anymore, so I personally feel safe to take off my gloves and just handle the flowers with my bare fingers. And all I'm going to do is along the side of the soap that we haven't spooned, so the bit that's still flat, I'm going to sprinkle just a light touch of these heather flowers. And as I said earlier, if you're one of these people that just does not like botanicals, then by all means leave them off. Or you could add something like perhaps some Himalayan sea salt, some larger grains of that would probably look fairly attractive along here. But I just think the purple of these heather flowers really complements the pale purple of the soap bar. Okay, so that is our salt bar. I'm not going to lift it up and show you because I don't want it to bow out again. These books are doing an average sort of job of holding it in place. Salt loaves do firm up really quickly, and it's highly likely that this one will be ready to cut within a couple of hours. And indeed, I really hope it is, because I'm due to be going out in a couple of hours. So it better be ready before I go, because otherwise, by the time I'm back, it's going to be too firm to cut. There is a short window of cutting time for salt soaps. So I'm going to attempt to turn this one out and cut it within the next couple of hours. So that is a very short time frame. Make sure you don't leave them too long. Don't leave them overnight, because when you come back to them in the morning, they will be virtually impossible to cut. So I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. So it's only been about an hour and a half since I made the soap, but I am going out in about 20 minutes. So I'm really hoping it is actually okay to unmold now. Otherwise, we're going to have a little bit of an issue. Because the soap has only just been made, I am going to put my gloves back on, purely because the soap is still going to be caustic. So it could still, probably would still, burn me if I was to just go in with bare hands. So let's get the gloves on and cross our fingers that we can get this soap out of the mould. So I haven't used this mould in a while, and last time I remember it being quite tricky to get soap out of. On the plus side, it does look like our soap is going to be okay for coming out, because it's come away from the sides really easily. Yeah, actually that's going to be no problem at all. So I'm just going to turn it over, make a mess with all those little heather flowers, and let the soap slide out of the mould. And it will be warm if you do this, because it is still obviously saponifying, heating up. So this is hot, warm-ish, warmish. Let's get rid of these. So that is what our soap is currently looking like in loaf form. Now we're going to attempt to cut it. I'm going to place it on its side with the heather flowers down at the base, just in a vain attempt to stop the flowers from running through the soap. Really should have put my hair up. It was more just sort of hurrying to get this done before I go out, but a hairband would have been incredibly useful. Right, let's cut down through that. And it is already very firm. Like I said, salt bars firm up so much quicker than regular bars. Right, let's pull a piece out from the middle. And there you go. So you can see, even though it's only been an hour and a half, it was actually already very firm, and we have got some crumbling away down at the edges. Could probably even have got away with cutting that even sooner. So that is one. And we'll just pull out all the rest. Sort of stack them up next to each other. I'm sure you guys don't really want to watch me doing that with every single individual soap. In fact, you won't want to watch it. I'm in a hurry. Let's just put this to one side for now. We don't even need to worry about it. There we go. So, that is today's soap. As I say, definitely actually firmed up even quicker than I was thinking it would, which is what has led to the crumbling at the edges where it has been cut. If I'd left that until tomorrow, then it wouldn't have just been a little bit on the edge that had crumbled. It would be either the bar would be uncuttable, or the loaf would be uncuttable, or the whole thing would crumble, just like we've had that bit of crumbling on the edges. So salt bars, cut them early, earlier than you think you might need to, in fact. So here we have the Lavender and Lemon salt bar. This is very well cured, probably about 4 months or so now. I can't remember when I exactly made these soaps, but I know it's been a long while. I've got my bowl of warm water here, and I'm just going to go in and show you how nicely these lather. I do find with a salt bar, the very first time you use it, it can take a little bit of a go to actually work up that lather. But once you've got it, it is lovely, and I generally only find it's the first use where it takes that little bit of a rub to get it going. Right, so, and I can feel that gentle kind of exfoliation from the sea salt in there, nothing major. So as you can see, we're starting to get a lather now. I'm going to go in again, and now it is starting to lather up quite nicely. And salt bars are generally, or I find them to generally be a creamier lather. Our other regular soaps are a bit more bubbly, but these you get a lovely kind of rich, creamy lather on them like that. And I think it's really nice actually for shaving as well. Works really well shaving. Wayne uses it on his head for shaving. I use it on my legs for shaving. Let me show you, I'll just drop that there. So as you can see, not a lot of bubbles, but a lot of rich, creamy, say almost lotion-like lather there. And it has got a gorgeous feeling to it as well. Salt bars do leave my hands feeling so lovely and silky smooth. And they last for such a long time too. Salt bars for me are the longest lasting bar of soaps that we actually offer. They just seem to last forever and ever. We've had customers saying they go on and on and on, which is a good thing, except when you're trying to sell lots of them, because then when they last for ages, people don't need to buy them so often. But that is a good thing. There you go, bit bubbly there. So that is essentially our salt bar. So that was our Lavender and Lemon salt bars. Do let us know what you think of them by leaving a comment down below. I will try and respond to some of the comments on this video. As I said, it has been difficult responding to comments lately. I just literally haven't had the time. I'm not honestly going to have time to go back over all the comments that have been left, but I will try and keep up with some of the comments that are left on the new videos that I'm going to hopefully post going forwards. If you enjoy our channel, please do hit subscribe. That really helps the channel to grow, which is excellent, because the more it grows, the more we can actually dedicate a little bit more time to doing videos, because it'll just become that bit more, or it'll make it that bit more financially able for us to do that. And hit the notification bell as well, and then you won't miss a video, because as I said, they're going to be popping up at random times and at random intervals, so it'll probably be relatively easy to miss them. So hit the notification bell so that you don't. Thank you for watching today. I don't know when we'll be back. Who knows? Could be a week, could be a month, could be 6 months. But we will be back at some point, and I guess that's the key thing. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you again at some point. Bye for now.